Hello and welcome to the Spanish Football Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Phil Kitromilides. This is Sid Lowe.
Hello.
And we're here for another weekend preview looking ahead to Matchday 29. We've got our café con leche. We're outside the Taberna de Doctor.
Doc's bar.
Yes, Sid's favourite player, Doc Diego Cervero. He opened a bar. We had to come here. So let's look ahead.
He does own a bar.
Does he?
Not this one.
Just not this one. Let's look ahead to this weekend's fixtures. The Friday night game is Girona against Athletic Bilbao, Athletic Club. Girona haven't won at home since October.
They're weird, aren't they?
Yes, it's very weird. What was going to happen on Friday?
Girona will draw this.
Yeah, well,
Athletic
have drawn a lot of games.
Draw a lot of games. Not as many as Valencia, but they do draw a lot of games.
Girona have got 65% of their points picked up away from home this season. That's the highest in the division.
That is most impressive. I did not know that.
We've got a South Madrid derby on Saturday. It is the big one, Getafe against Leganés. This is actually huge.
It's massive.
Getafe chasing the Champions League, Leganés trying to avoid relegation. It's huge.
It is huge, and I tell you what, it would be huge as well if Getafe were to get into the Champions League place. And of course, they have Spanish striker up front, Mr. Mata.
Yes. Interesting fact about Getafe, they've only had 7 different goal scorers this season. That's the lowest of any team.
Yeah, actually Bordalas was asked about this last week because he was talking about how good the front three had been and the percentage of goals that they provided for the side. And he said, you know, I wouldn't mind if my midfielder scored once in a while.
Yeah. Another local derby after that. It's in Barcelona. It's the Barcelona derby at the Camp Nou. Barca against Espanyol. A fixture which Espanyol don't particularly like. They haven't won any of the last 19 LaLiga derbies. They haven't scored in 14 of those.
Didn't know that.
This has been one of the most one-sided derbies, certainly in Spain, if not in Europe, in recent years.
They're still, of course, clinging to the Tamudaza.
Yeah.
That was their big moment. I was looking this up. Did you know it's not since 1941 that Espanyol have finished ahead of Barcelona in the league? So that tells you something about the slight imbalance in the rivalry between these two teams.
There's a huge game after that at the bottom of the table. It's monster. Celta Vigo against Villarreal at Valladolid.
Barry's back.
Barry is back for Celta Vigo. Barry Aspas, the talismanic captain and still top scorer for Celta. He's been out for 4 months nearly.
9 places they've dropped in his absence. It tells you quite a lot about it.
If they lose and results go not in their way, Celta could be 8 points from safety. 8 points from safety. That's why it's so big. Villarreal just above them in the table, just out of the relegation zone. It is a massive 6-pointer. You've got Alavés against Atletico after that. Atletico lost their last 2 games. They haven't lost 3 games under Diego Simeone since 2014. That was the only time that they've lost 3 games under Diego Simeone.
It's over. I mean, their season is over, but it feels like a little bit more than that. No, not over, but there will be big changes at Atletico in the summer. I mean, you look at their back 4 this week, it was announced that Lucas Hernandez is going. Basically, 3 of their normal starting back 4 will probably be gone by next season. It feels like this change afoot at Atletico.
More on the sale of Lucas Hernandez in our bonus podcast at patreon.com/TSFP. Then you've got Levante against Eibar. Not the most glamorous of ties.
Actually, in a weekend of really good games, this might be the only one that probably isn't.
Yeah, well, you've got Valladolid, Real Sociedad. Always watch Betis, as we know, and on Sunday, 2 o'clock, the Estadio de Vallecas, you've got Rayo Vallecano against Real Betis. It is the return of Paco Gémez.
Yes.
It is the possession derby. Who's going to come out on top? Paco Gémez or Quique Setién?
It's going to be good, isn't it? I mean, it might be like watching 2 really good snooker players. One gets to the table and the other one just has to sit there and wait hours and hours and hours for them to finish before they get a chance for the ball.
Yeah,
it might be like 50% possession each, but literally 45 minutes each. Right, you have the ball point. Second half starts, right, we'll have the ball. 0-0.
It is huge for Rayo as well. They really need to start winning after 7 consecutive defeats. Then you've got what traditionally is a big game, Sevilla against Valencia. It's 6th against 7th. Both of these sides can still get the final Champions League place. Yeah,
exactly. The 6th against 7th makes it sound like a Europa League game, but it actually feels like an opportunity to see whether or not these two will compete with Getafe for the final Champions League place. And I suppose different for Sevilla because they're under different management and different sporting directors.
Yes, they haven't lost a game under Joaquín Caparrós since 2005.
How many have they played since then?
I think 4 or 5, but yeah.
Still going. Well done, Joaquín.
By the way, Valencia, 16 draws this season. They are closing in on Deportivo La Coruña's record from the 2015-2016 season of 18 draws. I think they're going to get it.
There's a good chance.
Trying to make it
10
exciting.
games to go.
Yeah,
there's a good chance.
Can they break that record?
Exciting.
Yeah, they probably hope that they don't. Valladolid against Real Sociedad. It might not be aesthetically pretty, but it is huge for Valladolid, who are sinking like a ship or a stone. Take your pick, and they need points.
And given hope by their miraculous 2-1 victory in extra time, whenever it was we were last playing football. It's a long time ago now.
Then you've got a historic fixture, first time ever that Huesca are going to the Bernabeu to take on Real Madrid. It matters more for Huesca, I think, than it does for Real Madrid.
Yeah, you try telling that to Real Madrid fans.
Yeah, it's the second game in charge for Zinedine Zidane, and they'll be trying to put in a good performance.
Yeah, and although I say it matters more for Real Madrid, you kind of look at the build-up to this game. It doesn't matter, does it? Everyone's just talking about who's coming next year. No one cares about who's there now.
Well, look, our viewers try to care. We're trying to make this the weekend preview, see?
We care.
It's Real Madrid against Huesca.
Everyone cares.
I've got a stat for you.
I like Huesca.
They are making their debut at the Bernabeu. They've never played at the Bernabeu before. The last 11 teams making their debut at the Bernabeu have lost. The last team to win their first game at the Bernabeu, Burgos, 1991.
And they did it without Doc as well.
Anyway, the football is back. Matchday 29 is upon us, so make sure you enjoy it, and make sure you listen to the podcast. It's out on SoundCloud, iTunes, Acast, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and lots of bonus content at patreon.com/TSFP. Oh, and subscribe to the channel as well.